Okay, never mind. I'll start the ball rolling. So, how do you all get your inspiration to do this film together?
We started working on the film from about 3 years ago. I think it started from a trip we took to Cambodia. It was like a graduation trip for us.
I think what shaded our trip was we watched a film with Spalding Gray called Swimming to Cambodia. It's directed by Jonathan Demme, and that probably colored our trip, and I think, yeah, it went from there.
How about the story? How did it get developed?
I think we were very much influenced by a whole host of different things, like what we were reading at the time, and I guess in terms of film, Death in Venice and Last Year Marimba were our biggest film influences, and the story, it was quite organic, I guess.
Okay, anyone has any questions? Okay, over there, sorry, the lady over there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, how does it work for two directors to work on set?
We usually argue before, so on set there's no arguments, ideally. Yeah, before and after.
So who talks to the actor?
I think it depends from scene to scene and the shot. We will discuss it before we go on set, and then we'll see who takes the lead from scene to scene.
Okay, how about just now that gentleman?
It's just a question on casting. Like, why and how did you cast Glenn Gui and the other two actors as well?
The actors were based on, we had a pretty specific idea of what we were going for when we were writing, so we just thought that Glenn suited it due to his background, international background. So basically we just asked him, and he said, cool.
Did he like look at a script or something?
We auditioned him actually. Actually no, we just said want to come to Cambodia, and he agreed because he had spare time. The other actor, we were looking for someone who's like a foil for Glenn, someone who's like totally different. So we asked one of our friends, Dick, who's here somewhere, and she recommended AJ Amarin, the Thai dude, and Erin, who we casted from here again. Like Glenn, she had an interesting international background. She's British, but she was brought up in Singapore. And we thought that was really interesting. But of course, she has her own sort of aura, I think.
Any questions? Okay, the lady again.
So it's quite unusual to have one kind of like a Caucasian woman with two Asian guys. Did you write it that way, or it happened due to casting?
Well, yeah, it was actually in the writing, yeah, because I think when we visited Cambodia, we found that it was a very cosmopolitan city, and we thought that it should be reflected in the casting. So you have a British girl, a mixed young guy, and you have Glenn.
Anyone has any more questions? Okay.
How did you work with your cinematographer as far as the visuals and the visual style you created?
Okay, I'll just repeat the question first. He asked about cinematography. How did they work with the cinematographer?
Eugene, how did we work with them? I think we had, like we were saying earlier, we had certain films in mind, we had certain artworks in mind, and before we were on set, we talked with her a lot. We discussed with her mood, ideas we had, and then when we went on set, obviously, it's not ideal, so you adjust according to what you see. But I mean, on set, basically, because of the discussions we had before going on set, she just, yeah, on set she just took charge. And yeah, we've worked with her like many times before, so I think that she's she has a pretty clear idea of, yeah, and we trust her, of course.
Okay, over there.
Yeah, I was wondering about your the choice of subtitling. Was it a stylized choice?
The question was the subtitling a stylized choice?
Does it look stylized?
I was just wondering, like, why we had subtitles.
Okay, I prefer films without subtitles actually, but we saw a couple of, we were worried that people were mumbling too much in the film, so we decided to put subtitles in, and we liked yellow subtitles because we saw a film with yellow subtitles.
How much do you make the film for? The money question.
In terms of cash, it was about 40,000, but in terms of everyone's, because we had a lot of support in kind, like our crew members and our cast were basically working for food.
Yeah, for
food and lodgings. Yeah, so.
And we had support from a couple of companies that you saw in that long credit sequence, like QnA, the hotel, wardrobe, local designers, yeah.
So it literally be like a little bit here and there, like one dress here, one hat there, right?
Yeah. And Glenn's wonderful wardrobe, of course.
So Glenn's wardrobe was fully sponsored by Glenn.
Okay, how about you? You had a question, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have two questions actually. The first question is how long was the production period, including pre-production, production, and post-production? And the second question is how close or how far is the effect of the cinematographer different from what you expect for both the directors?
Okay, I repeat the question that he asked. The first question is how long did the whole production process take, from pre-production, production to post-production? Maybe you want to answer that first?
The whole project took us about 3 years, but in that 3 years, a lot of time went to just development, writing, going back to Cambodia, scouting. So
also doing other things at the time.
So we were also studying at the time. But in terms of production period, when we were shooting, it was about, we were all there for 3 weeks. We shot for about 2.5. Post-production, we wrapped last year about May. In terms of, we wrapped the shoot last year about June, right? July, and yeah, so we just finished it.
Yeah, because we got jobs in between, so yeah, money first, yeah, bills first.
The second question was how different was the cinematography that was taken as compared to what you all visualized initially?
How was it different?
Is it different or is it very close to what you expect?
It was very different, but I think it should be anyway, because if you have something in mind, it's like nothing is ideal when you're on set. You know, something will happen. Some person will refuse to barge, so you can't adjust your frame. You know that. Yeah, there's all sorts of things, but you work with what you have, and you know, we had a cinematographer that we trusted, so we weren't worried at any point. You know, yeah, I mean that's part of the fun, that it's not what you expect it to be.
Yeah, question over here.
Was there a lot of time constraint in terms of the shooting?
Was there a lot of time constraint in terms of the shooting?
With certain locations, no, but with some locations, yes. Like when we shot at the temples, it was quite tight, both because of the amount of time that we had permission to shoot there, and also because obviously a lot of people visit the place, so it's, you know, you can't really block everyone all the time. And also, yeah, because we shot some stuff at sunrise and sunset, and that's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to shoot. But generally, I think we shot over 2.5 weeks, but we wanted to pace ourselves, so I don't think we went over 8 hours at all, anytime. I hope I did. No, I don't think we shot very long each two.
Oh, over there.
Okay, questions. Are those voiceovers were written in the script or adding in post? Like all their like talks to themselves. And were those recorded on set or ADR afterwards?
Yeah, most of the voiceovers were recorded on set, and yeah, most of them we wrote, but they were adjusted according to what the actor remembered. According to what they're comfortable with, they would adjust it to yeah, to what made sense for them.
Oh, over there.
You mentioned that your crew worked for food and lodging. I'm curious where you had that.
Some of them are here right now, actually. Yeah, they're from Tisch. It was my thesis. Well, not all of them. Some of them were from Tisch. Some were friends from outside.
There's a question over there.
Is the film pretty close to the script, or did you have to improvise a lot?
Improvise a lot. And of course, it was shaped a lot by our editor, Azar, who we edited it for quite a while, and then we sort of gave it away, and he basically restructured the whole film. And then we discussed it again, and it kind of made sense.
Your question? Yeah.
Did you plan to shoot 2.5 weeks from beginning, or at that was it kind of like improv as well?
I think a huge part of it was we look at our budget, we look at how long we could afford to feed people for, right? And like, people wouldn't want to work for too long, like for food and lodgings, because they had to go do things that will make them money too. So, yeah. Because if we had the luxury, I think like almost any filmmaker would have liked to shoot for longer.
Spend more time writing.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like you want more and more and everything, but we had to work with what we had.
I have two questions. The first one is about the camera. I noticed that most of the time the camera is still. So is it because of choice that you need the camera such, or is it more like circumstances that cause you to have such shoots most of the time?
It was a mix. It was a mix. I mean, certain scenes we deliberately wanted to be very still, so that those would contrast with the scenes where there's like merry-go-rounds and the camera's turning all over the place. So we wanted that kind of contrast, but we also wanted some were circumstantial. So sometimes, as I said just now, if someone refused to move, then lana.
My second question is about the scene where the girl was sketching. She was sketching herself or something. So I was just wondering if there was any objective that you were trying to get from shooting it from the start to the end of the sketch.
What do you think? So what do you think?
I couldn't make
I think one reason why we did that scene was also because, like, she has problems connecting with him, and it's like they're supposed to be on this trip together, but he's very much in his own world, he has his own agenda, right? So kind of by drawing herself, an image of herself onto this book that he's reading, it's a way of saying that, hey, I'm there. And I think it was a decision that we talk about quite a lot, showing her drawing the whole image. But we knew we wanted it, even though we were also concerned that it might be difficult for the audience. Because I think it was something about I think we both really like long takes. We like the uninterrupted shot. Even the way she was drawing it, I mean, it was one take only, we only had one book, right? So, yeah, I mean, even the way she was drawing it in her very tentative manner, and
That's
so...
probably because she didn't want to mess up.
And we didn't get her to like rehearse the sketching, so I think hopefully give the audience an insight into like, you know, her world, her mindset, and something like an image to ponder, rather than if you just show it to you like, here is, yeah, cut to her drawing an image of herself, and we cut to something else.
Thank you.
And there was a question. So, yeah.
It's kind of a follow-up to you were saying that like Azar's edit made sense. So like what is this sense? And then it's kind of like how and why is it achronological? And how is this pieced together?
I guess given that, I guess maybe we were close to it. So I mean, when we cut it, we just cut it chronologically, and we cut it as we saw it, but you know, as it was written. But I think because Azar had the distance from it, and we didn't even tell him what the script was. We just said, here's a bunch of footage, like figure it out. And I think he really helped us to remember that it's a film about memory. It's a film about loss and trying to remember. So I mean, when you remember, you don't remember chronologically. You repeat things in your head, you repeat scenes, and you distort them on your own. So I think it's chronological in the sense that you see a person go through memories. Some are her own, some are not her own. You see each character reveal a little bit of themselves in their monologues. Yeah.
Anyone has any more questions? Okay, so the two directors, anything like you all want to share with the crowd here about your show? What you hope people can take away with at the end of this?
I think first of all, we'd like to really thank you guys for coming, and a lot of you guys here today have really helped us in so many ways in the film. So yeah, we're really grateful for that, because I think it's a film we definitely couldn't have made without support from so many people who are willing to give us their time, their talent, right? I love, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. I hope it wasn't too painful.
Thank you.
Okay, let's give them another round of applause. Thank you.